Hey Plastic Model Builders, welcome back. That's me, Ari Stone, your host for Plastic Model Builder. This is the Revell B-25J Mitchell, the 1/48th scale, part 2. We are prepping for assembly and paint. Yes, paint comes in later. I know you're excited. If you haven't seen my other videos, don't forget to subscribe. Give me some comments and likes. You know I like that good stuff because it's good for ratings. So this is the front control deck here that you see. This is the underside. We're going to assemble this. This is part of the wheel well. So the wheel well goes on like this on the bottom side. You want to put some glue all along these edges here on the front and the rear part of that. And this is one of the bulkheads for that. This also assembles the main flight deck. So it's kind of like a 2-for-1 deal. You see here, you just kind of put this on, hold it in place, let it dry. Make sure you get your glue all the way around. You want this really secure. You got that little crevice right there. One on the back side. This side right here. Gonna go all the way around because it's a big right angle piece, 90 degrees all the way around there, and just like this. I love it. All right, so now we're going to put on the other piece. Same process. You see, we do it just like that. Hold it in place, let it dry. One of the keys that you want to do for this is get the 2 fuselage halves. You want to place this in between those. That way you make sure you get a good fit. See, it fits there. Put the other side on there. And then you can look into this and see how it fits. You see it looks really good at the front and really good on the inside. So that's that. So now we've got our 3 wheels that we're going to do. This is the front wheel, and there are also 2 rear wheels to this aircraft. Had trouble gripping it with my gloves, so I decided to do a little trick, put a toothpick in, clip it. I could just rotate it about like that. Put your glue in your little box areas there, use the pins that you come with the plane, push down and secure. It will dry, fill in all along that edge. You know, the glue just flows right in because it's so thin. It's my Tamiya extra thin. Front landing gear, at least the wheel, is assembled. Here are the 2 rear wheels. Make sure your treads line up. Put each piece together first before you do this. Otherwise, you're going to be like, darn, my treads don't line up. So get that out of the way. Same process as the front wheel. You go around the whole thing just like this. Make it look pretty, model making madness. I have it clamped together so it dries nicely. My idea, take the front landing gear. See if it will fit into the plane before I have to assemble it like the directions say, because I didn't want to have to worry about masking it. Well, I was able to get it in, but I thought to myself, if I get this in and then the rest of the fuselage is assembled the way this is designed, I won't be able to glue it in place. So I scratched that idea, and you see me doing it here because I tried. Figure out, I'd show you. We have the nacelle and the wings. There was a big gap, if you don't remember, in the last video. I showed you that. So we are filling that in with some filler. I use my Tamiya white thin stuff. Can't remember what it's called, but you know, you see it in the stores everywhere. Got my little pipette. I was just trying to find anything that was kind of round to smooth this out. Didn't want to use my finger because I know would probably get stuff everywhere. Then I use this little deal. It's like a little brush. You see all the areas that need filler right around this nacelle and the wings. There's a lot of them to make this plane look pretty. Take your time and it will look good. This definitely is a plane for people that like to model. It's definitely not a plane for people that want things to go together very easily. If you like modeling, this is definitely the plane for you and a challenge. If you like modeling and you don't want any work, this might not be the plane for you. So you see all of the tape coming off and all the areas that need to get sanded. A lot of stuff there in those grooves. This is where you're going to spend most of your time doing these wings. Lots of filler, and as well, same with the stabilizers. You see it all there. Got my little pointy deal. Good for getting in the cracks. Works out well. Sanding stick. Same thing. It's a model, take your time. So the stabilizers in the tail, they only go one way. Make sure each rudder lines up with the rudder on the tail and the rudder on the stabilizers. See, there's a gap there. That's also going to need filling in. So one on each side and front and back. Basically, this is the other side. I'll show you what it looks like with the filler in here. You see, just get your glue in there. It'll dry nicely, but you see there is a decent sized gap, and we all know it shouldn't be like that. It should be pretty whole. Alright, all the glue's there. This is what the filler looks like. I kind of did it by hand, then just sanded it down. If it looks rough, it's okay. You can put dirt in there. Time to assemble the cockpit. Not many pieces to it. We have the instrument panel, which kind of sits right here. We're going to have to hold it down a little bit. It will fit, I promise. Get your glue down in there, just like you see me doing. Then you have the control sticks, wheels, because there's two of them. They're mounted together. You see how thick that sprue is where I'm cutting. Like that in a lot of areas for this plane, so you're going to have to sand those down to get the parts to fit right. A little bit of flashing, small piece, hard to get off. I managed. This is the spot where the control stick goes. Just kind of put it in there, make sure it's in the middle. Give that glue a little bit of time to set up. It'll look good. Alright, so there we go. Clip your chairs, more thick sprues. I set each chair, you see it looks like they could kind of go back and forth, so that's kind of how I set one up and one back for realism. I'm hoping I did that right, because that's kind of, I mean, it looks like they would move. Make sure they don't fall off while you're gluing them on. Not a lot of wiggle room there. Notice it's unpainted. I do go back and paint it later, but that is the whole control deck. So now we've got our bombs. A decent amount of them. 3 of those, I think, maybe more, don't remember. Got your pins here, make sure they line up. Bombs are a little bit tough to do on this aircraft. The back ends had a little bit of a seam in there, that the way you see it right here. I'm going to get a close up in here, so keep watching. I promise you will see it. This is just far away, so you kind of see how the process is. It is a missile, just like everything else. I'm sorry, it's a bomb, not a missile. If only it were a missile back then, war would have lasted a lot less time. So this is how it works. Hold it together, let the glue dry, up close. Got your little holes there, then your pins. Clamp it together. Make sure all your surfaces match up. See how that works? Put your glue right in between. Hold it together, just like so. There you go. Go along the edge, and you can see that inside there. This is with the glass, so if you didn't see the video on how to do a future dip, and you want to do it, watch it. So now it's time to paint. You can see how clear that looked as opposed to the other one. By the way, the reason there are 2 sets of glass that came with this, 2 sets of clear parts, is because the front piece of this aircraft is different for each version of the model you want to do. One's got like 5 guns in the middle, and the other has like 1. So you see that's the top glass right there, and this is it. As I paint, you'll see the holes. They start to show up. That's where each of the guns go. Those are different for each version of this plane that you plan to do. One only has like a center, and that's why you have 2 bags, which I didn't mention in the box break that I did because I didn't know. Maybe I'll redo that one day. Anywho, so this is the rest of the glass getting primed. I put some liquid mask on it and then a little bit of tape combo. I'm pre-priming the inside here. One thing you don't ever want to do, I guess, is pre-prime the outside until the plane is assembled. I was experimenting with that quite a bit because it doesn't really work out. You touch it, your hands get all over the place, and it leaves stuff everywhere. So here, this is the inside. We're going to let that dry. I think I used acrylic primer from Model Masters, which you're not going to be able to get pretty soon because, well, things happen. So here is the control deck getting primed. I got my little toothpick there if I decide to hold it and twist it around. It makes things easy to paint. Just get in all these little cracks and crevices. A little hard to do, kind of the reason some people like to paint the parts ahead of time, then assemble. So here are our wings. They are all sanded, all prepped, primed, ready to go. I like how it turned out. This was a fun model to do in terms of things to fill and all that good stuff. So just putting the primer on the wing in a different manner. One way went up and down, this way went side to side, just easier. Here you see is the tail and the stabilizer. So everything filled in there, so everything looks like one nice big piece. I like it. I like it a lot. Get your stabilizers, all the sides. Make sure the paint lays out nicely. You're going to have some decals that go there. Decals if you're in Australia, maybe England, Europe. You know how us Americans are, we call them decals. Here are the wheels. 2 of those, and 1 front wheel, of course. Make them look pretty for the model making madness. I know you can do it. There you go. Close up, you can see all the little grooves in there. So definitely fun if you want to weather those. Lots of fun little line, just because I wasn't worried about it. This is the front, or I'm sorry, not the front, the rear wheels. Remember, those only go one way, like I showed you in the previous part 1 video. I've got my liquid mask on there, that way I could just peel it off and not have to scrape anything. That's the front wheel, by the way. And that's pretty much it. You see, I've got the rest of this going on here. So remember, subscribe, comment, and like, all that good stuff, and you see all these little parts. And as always, until next time, my favorite thing, see ya.